how's it going? Okay, I'm trying to stick to my video a day. So today I want to talk about one of the hardest things it was for me, because I've always been a giver. You know, I always try to help everybody. I hope this isn't loud, the fan. So I've always tried to, I've always just been a giver, and a lot of times I didn't get that back. So the hardest thing for me was to, sometimes you gotta put yourself first. Have a good heart, obviously. Do the best you can, to be there for people that love you, but just don't let people take advantage of that heart, because God gave me a big ass heart, and it has been a blessing and a curse in my life. So the lesson of the day, I guess, would be just, you gotta love yourself. And I know that was a hard one for me too, because, I'm always putting myself down. I need to lose weight, I need to do this, I need to do that, just always hard on myself. And I still, I'm working on it, to be honest. But yeah, you have to, love yourself. And I did learn that early on in my marriage. I finally learned, it was after my mom passed, I finally learned, okay, I can't do this anymore. I was like, my ex, struggled with depression and a lot of issues, and I always just tried to help him through that, but didn't realize, crap, is that going to show up on my video? Alright, well, I'll see if it does. I'll have to start it over. But anyways, so yeah, I started feeling like it was pulling me down into his place where he always is, and that wasn't good for me. I never really suffered. I've gotten depressed, obviously, life will kick you in the ass, but I never had depression where I was had phases where I'd just be depressed and have to go in my room, didn't want to talk to anybody. I was just sad over a long period of time. If I did get depressed, it was because I was going through something, or I lost somebody I loved or something like that. I did have anxiety a lot. I'd get anxious and stuff around big crowds, and I still do that. If I go, it's weird because I don't know, I guess it was God helping me through that, but I just always pushed through it. In school, if I started getting shaky and nervous because I felt uncomfortable or something, I just did it anyways. And I guess that was a good thing to do, because over the years I just kind of grew out of it, I guess. Mind you, I worked with high school kids for 22 years in special needs classes, and that really gets you out of here. It really gets you out of any uncomfortable situations. You just keep going. You just work through it. You just tell yourself, oh, you're fine. You just gotta do a lot of mental with yourself. Again, put yourself first. I always use the example, when I moved away, because I was saying, I felt like he was pulling me down into his funk, and that's just not me. I gotta keep going. I can't survive life. I need to live it. And that's my goal always. And So I moved out of my house and got a little place up in the mountains. And I told my kids, it was a really small place, but I told them they were always welcome and everything. But they made me feel like I abandoned them and da-da-da. And I remember one night my son came by, and they were adults at this time, so I think my son was 18, 19. My daughter was 23 or something. So they were adults living, having jobs and doing their thing. It was just something I needed to do for me. And the way I tried to explain it to them is when you're in the airplane and they tell you, if we lose oxygen and the cups come down, you need to cover yourself so you're alive to cover your kid, or save your child, and that's where I felt like I was at that time in my life. And I think that's a good analogy for you. You can't really be there for people in your life and help people in your life if you're not in a good place. And so you need to always take care of yourself and make sure you're in a good place so you can take care of your loved ones and be there for them and be happy. You're the only person that can work on yourself and make yourself happy. Nobody else can make you happy. Obviously if you fall in love and you're in love, and that person needs to treat you the way you're treating them. A relationship, it needs to be equal. You need to get what you're putting into it, back. And if you're not getting that, then, you need to get out of it, to be honest. And it took me years to realize that one. And a lot of times you do things, I stayed and even lived back with my ex and as friends, and we got our friendship back, so that was good. But we weren't in a relationship anymore for a few years just because of our house. We had to stay in our house. We wouldn't make money if we sold it at the time. And he lost his job and he made big money. I worked for the school district and made big bucks. So that was just what I had to do at the time. And you do what you feel is right, and sometimes you do make I can't think of the word, but you do things that even though it's not the best thing for you, you do it because you're doing it for your loved ones. And sometimes you do make those choices, and I don't regret any of the choices I made. If it wasn't the best choice, then I learned a lesson from it. Regardless, you learn. But I'm gonna end this, and I gotta go back and watch and see if a message went across the screen. I don't want that to be on my video, obviously. So I'm gonna see if that's there. If it's not, I'll post this. If it is, I'm gonna have to make another video. So but the lesson or the advice I want you to take from this one is, if you're a giver, you need to learn how to receive. You can be a giver, but you need to learn how to receive as well, and make sure you're getting what you give back. And if all you give out is love all the time, you're giving, you're giving away all your energy, you got nothing left for yourself. So take care of yourself. Give yourself compliments. Be proud of yourself. Just enjoy life and be happy and strive. The goal in life should be, to be happy. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.